What's up, makeup minions? I'm Kim Witte from Witte Artistry, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button below to become part of the Witte Artistry family. This is a very special makeup tutorial for the NsomniaksDream Myths and Legends Contest. Let's get this Umibozu makeup tutorial going. Go ahead and block out your eyebrows using the glue stick method. Just spoolie your eyebrow hairs upward and outward, cover them with glue, wait for them to dry, powder them, and then apply foundation over them, and then powder them again. I put on 3 layers of glue just to make sure my eyebrows were really smooth for painting. And now I'm going in with my Ben Nye eyebrow pencil, and I'm going to be outlining all of my design for my Umibozu. The Umibozu is always said to have giant eyes and is a sea creature, so I took my own creative spin on it and wanted to add tentacles, and I wanted to make sure that the face had lots of wrinkles because I really wanted to paint that texture. Mixing together blue, white, purple, and black, I'm creating a nice little cool tone that's slightly purple and slightly blue that I'm using as the mid-tone to cover my entire face and all of my squiddly tentacles. For my design for this creature, I really wanted to accentuate the eyeballs, so I'm going to be designing the wrinkles around that. Basically, I'm going to have large forehead wrinkles that sort of merge into a wrinkly crease in between my giant eyes and then just sort of morph around my head to make it a little bit more narrow. Yep, looks good. Do you agree? Yes. Adding a little bit more blue to the mixture, I made a darker color, and I'm going to be outlining the edges of all the wrinkles and then filling in all of the negative space that remains with the original mid-tone color. Really age your Umibozu with lots of facial wrinkles. Go around the lower sockets of your eyes, and then fill in your eyebrow shadow. Mix up a light gray-blue color and fill in the rest of your tentacles. Time to give your tentacles some dimensions. So I'm going in with a dark purple and I'm outlining all of the tentacles and also shading their undersides. I decided to try something new. I got a white cream paint and I'm dabbing it over all of the center of the tentacles because cream seems to blend in better than eyeshadow, and then tapping it out with my finger. This really helped round out the tentacles and created a very realistic highlight, and I absolutely loved using this, but you have to powder after you're done, otherwise it'll smear. Okay, so following a very similar process to the tentacles, I am just going in with the cream paint on each and every wrinkle on my face and blending it out with a brush. I'm following a very similar process that I did on the tentacles by going in on each and every one of the high points of the wrinkles with that cream paint and just dabbing it out with a brush. I got some spare time in this tutorial, so I figured why not tell you what an Umibozu is. A Japanese sea spirit that lurks in the ocean on calm days and is known for causing severe sea storms. This frightening creature is known for capsizing ships and drowning sailors and occasionally asking them for riddles. Its appearance changes per story you look at, but what is always consistent is they have giant, scary eyeballs, and sometimes they have tentacles too. It's time to add some more dimension to your squidlipus. Squidlipus, octopus, Umibozu, whatever. Anyway, I'm going in with a blue, gray, white mixture to add a little bit of subtle dimension to the undersides of the tentacles, and I'm adding some little scumbling in between the middles of them. To create a little bit of a drop shadow, I'm going in with gray eyeshadow on the undersides of all the tentacles and where the tentacles overlap. When using eyeshadow to create shadows, you want to make sure you apply it in very thin layers because it tends to clump and stick on the body paint and create an unrealistic look. Finish up by shading in between your tentacles and underneath the tips of all of them. This is where things get a little bit complicated, so please stick with me and follow a reference photo. It's time to create little suction cups. I am using a grayish mixture and I am starting at the tips of all the tentacles in tiny little ovals, and then they gradually get larger and larger the closer to the base that they become. After making the mid-tone color, I am adding dark little discs on the inside to create the suction cup shape. Then very meticulously add a tiny little highlight on all of the upper portions of the suction cups and then a shadow on the underside. And then do some little squid dance moves, because why not? Octopus tentacles tend to have a little bit of texturing, so I went in with a dark purple and created some lines that follow the contour of the tentacles. However, they looked a little too harsh, so I decided to go back over them and make them a little more subtle with my cream white. Dab, 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 dab. With a highlight color, I am creating little wrinkles on my upper eyelid, or what will be my upper eyelid of my squiddly ball. I wanted my highlight a little bit more stark, so I went over my eyebrows and then the wrinkles I created on my cheekbones again. Don't forget to highlight your little side vent thing. In between suction cups is a little bit concave, so I went in with a gray eyeshadow and added a little bit more dimension. I was having way too much fun with this look. No shame. I was super sick while filming this, so I left my nose and mouth open for like blowing my nose, but it's time to fill it in with the mid-tone and then go over with the dark shade and create wrinkles with a little highlight color. The original plan was to have a downward turned shark mouth, but I didn't really like it, so I ended up wiping it off and then adding some creep of teeth, and I added a little bit of gills on my tentacle tops just to blend in the wrinkling of the face with the tentacle smoothness. Overline your upper lips and underline your lower lip to make them really puffy, and then add a nice highlight on the top and the bottom just to make some big fishy lips. Lips. Don't forget to highlight all your wrinkles. Take a really dark purple and go in just the deepest crevices of all the tentacles and underneath your lips. Moving on to the Umibozu's eyeballs, which are its signature characteristic. I went in with an orange, red, and brown mixture to really make some vibrant eyeballs that really stood out from this muted purpley blue color. Fill in the remaining skin with that color. To create a separation from the lids, I want to create a little cast shadow, so I mixed in a little bit more red and went over the tops of the eyeball rim and the bottom rim of the eyeball. Eyeballs have a ton of detail, so I was following a reference image of I think an alligator, and I went in with the dark reds, added some speckling, and then some lighter oranges and added some speckling. I'm just trying to create the little striations that are found in an iris of an eyeball, and then add some highlight. Make sure you let your eyelids dry before you open them. Basically, this is just a layering game and a lot of patience to wait for it to dry. Add a little bit more red to the mixture and go in with some really defined striations. I wanted to create a slit pupil, so I went in with black very carefully in my upper lid and had to line it up with my lower lid and make sure it still looked like a diamond when your eyes are closed. You'll probably need somebody to check that it's lined up properly and you aren't going cross-eyed with your Umibozu. Be patient and careful so you don't poke your eye. When things with the eyeball are all said and done, I added a very stark white highlight to create the illusion of gloss. Little baby highlight. So beautiful. Umibozu selfie! Then for the final step that always is crazy is outlining everything in black, including my hair, to really block out the remainder of my skin so I look like this floating creepy sea monster in front of a black background. This part can always be a little frustrating because you just want to be done, but that's okay. Take your time and outline it because you do not want to ruin all the work you did. And you're done. Go capsize some ships. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up and drop me a comment below. Please hit that subscribe button to become part of the Witte Artistry family, and don't forget the bell. Thank you so much for watching, and I had so much fun being an Umibozu.